Hey, this is Infinity. Decided to do a quick stream in the middle of the night. Well, it's not really a stream, I guess it's just a recording. Wanted to talk about a type of meditation I do frequently, which is sensory meditation. I find that it's very helpful if I'm having an anxiety attack or if I'm overwhelmed with stress. It helps me kind of reset in a way that I'd say is very tangible. And there are studies that show that meditation in general does help with anxiety. It helps quiet the mind if you have too many racing thoughts, that kind of thing. So it helps with, generalized anxiety, especially, as well as tension deficits. So, sensory meditation, we have our five senses. You have taste, smell, hearing, touch, and sight. Yeah. I need to come up with a system of saying that off the top of my head because I'll always just be like, wait a minute, which of the five did I say already? Did I say smell already? Did I say smell three times? I don't know. But the five senses, you know what I'm talking about. So sensory meditation basically has you ground in some type of experience in one of those five senses. So the more fun it is, the better. A good example of sensory meditation would be, I wish my lights were plugged in back there. I have a nightlight over there that's changing colors. I have a better example though. Hopefully the brown recluse spider that I saw earlier today is not here. Um, Underneath this blanket. Okay. Now I'm afraid of that spider. It's a really good time to do meditation, I suppose. So you could look at those lamps changing colors. These lamps are, if I were to turn them on, they go through a rainbow of colors. It's really pretty. 16 billion colors, apparently, according to the Amazon description. Or you could do what I'm doing, which is just feeling the texture of this blanket. So in sensory meditation, what you do is you just focus on this sensory experience. So I'm focusing on rubbing this blanket. So then anytime another thought comes up, like it could be a good thought, a bad thought, a completely neutral thought, it could be a useful thought even, you just let it go. It could be the cure for cancer, and you have to let it go or you're not meditating. So every time a thought comes up, you turn your mind back to the feeling of, say, this blanket that I've got here. Um, there's another type of meditation I was thinking of talking about, but I feel like it kind of deserves its own video, so I'm not going to do that now. Instead, I'm going to talk about what I call the complex meditations. They're complex in that they kind of short circuit your mind, like mantra meditation does, by having you do something extra or focus on something a little bit more complicated, and that kind of blocks out your ability to think just in general. So a lot of people like doing walking meditation and standing meditation, so you get kind of immersed in the process of doing those things. But when I think of these complex meditations that are sensory focused, see, with walking and standing meditation, you're focusing on the action of doing something. This is more about sensory meditation. So there are these complex sensory meditations that do something a little bit extra to the mind. So a good example of that would be meditating on your image in the mirror. Because we have specialized regions in the brain, like the fusiform face gyrus and so forth, dedicated to processing facial stimuli, that eventually becomes fatigued if you just stare at, well, anybody. If you stare at another person, this would also happen. But if you stare at yourself for like 5 straight minutes, you'll start seeing your face morph into different, like sometimes kind of really, often very disturbing and ugly and uncanny faces. Um, so you can meditate on your face and then see that effect, which is kind of fun. Or what's really interesting is to try to meditate on the stars. There are so many of them, and it's such a detailed picture that it kind of shorts out your brain, and you can feel yourself dissociate when you do that. So that's fun. Another complex meditation is looking at a crystal or a fire, because crystals have so many facets. Not one that's like, well, I mean, even one that's cut well has a lot of facets too. And fires, constantly moving and hard to predict. So those are really nice things to look at, to meditate on. Well, that's all for today. Hope this was helpful. Take care.